Let me introduce myself first. My name is Yulia Moiseeva. I'm a registered migration agent. I run my practice here in Australia on the Gold Coast, and I have myself and team of very experienced team workers with me, and we're catering all sorts of Australian visas except refugee and protection. Our office motto is to make sure that each and every client is well informed about their chances, fair and true chances. And obviously, our goal from the beginning when we work with clients is to make sure that they know their strategy in full, not only to execute one visa and then see what's going to happen in the future. So this is our core values, how we run our office. And I would like to stress out that strategy in this day and age is absolutely crucial if you would like to settle in Australia for good. If you would like to get to permanent residency stage, you need to act early and preferably before you even considering any sort of visas. So in today's stream, I will be talking about working holiday visas, what are the differences, how these visas are structured. Don't forget that it's only temporary visas that allows people to come to Australia, spend time working and holidaying, pretty much. And then these visas does not have any specific direct pathway to permanent residency. So it is crucial, even before you step on Australian soil with obviously working holiday visa granted, it's absolutely crucial to understand if you would like to stay here in the future, what sort of options you may have staying here. So a little bit of rules for our stream. First of all, I'm going to inform you what's happening in the space of working holiday visa, what are the key criteria, what's going on. And then we're going to be talking about what are the options for working holiday visa holders to extend their stay in Australia, work towards permanent residency. So if you would like to for me to answer any questions, please put it in the chat and I will attend them at the end of my live session. So let's start with a little bit of statistics. At the moment, we have two major subclasses of working holiday visas. So subclass 417, where we have 19 countries on the list. And then subclass 462, we have 29 countries on the list. So those are varieties of countries, and there are slight differences between those two streams I will be talking about at the later stage. And then our country is currently negotiating new working holiday 462 arrangement as of June 2025 with the following countries. So they are still in the negotiation stage. So it's Andorra, Costa Rica, Croatia, Fiji, Iceland, India, Latvia, Lithuania, Mexico, Monaco, Panama, Paraguay, Solomon Island, and Philippines. So with Philippines, the arrangement has been signed, but it's not yet implemented. So based on statistics, for 2025-2026 program year, it's been issued over 321,000 working holiday visas. It's a lot, guys. It's a lot. Over 232,000 working holiday visas been issued in 2024-2025 program. So this demand is growing. And United Kingdom, France, Ireland, Italy, and South Korea were top 5 citizenship countries for subclass 417 grants within a 6 months period of June 2025. And Indonesia, China, US, Argentina, and Chile were top 5 countries for subclass 462 grants in the 6 months period to June 2025. So, interestingly and historically, subclass 417 all started if we're looking back in 2020, 2021, it was issued over 31,000 visas across all the countries that had these visas on the list. And comparing to the year 2024, 2025, it was over 254,000. So that's a huge demand and increase in the visa numbers. Talking about subclass 462, in 2020, 2021, the count started with just over 8,000 visas. For 2020, for 2025, it's over 66,000 visas. So as you can see, the demand is growing ridiculously. So let's discuss what are the main criteria for these two visas, because as I said, they are slightly different. So let's start with subclass 417. So the normal price for that visa is 840 at this moment of time of August 2026. So it's not a small fee, but it's moderate, I would say, fee across any other subclasses. So usually this visa is subject to country of passport. So we currently have 19 countries on the list. If the applicant is a citizen of this country, and if the applicant is between 18 to 30 inclusive at the time of application, unless the applicant is from UK, Canada, France, Ireland, Italy, Denmark, Germany, Cyprus, Finland, and South Korea. Those guys are up to 35. So this is the main criteria. Plus, the applicant will have to provide evidence that they have sufficient funds. Usually it's around 5,000 Australian dollars. On that visa, you cannot bring partner or children. So it's for a single person to come on that visa. And usually for first-time applicants, this visa is applied while applicant is offshore. So as you can see, it's fairly simple criteria, because for this visa, pretty much age and country of passport matters. And then it's a direct application. Currently, department is experiencing delays in processing. However, there is no significant stoppers on this visa. So if the applicant satisfy the criteria, they can apply, then wait until the application is considered. And once the visa is granted, the candidate, the visa holder, will have 12 months to enter Australia. And only when the holder enters Australia, then the 12 months of stay will start clocking in. So it's important to understand that it can be done as a very first step in your migration strategy. And then before you stepping in Australia, it's wise to have this visa, for example, granted, but then you plan ahead. If you are already established professional with qualification, with work experience, it's worth exploring any other visa options like employer-sponsored visa as an example. And then, for example, make the way to Australia on working holiday visa to have time to start employment and serve probation period, and then transit to, for example, employer-sponsored visa. So that can be executed, and this will help candidates to link to employers and pretty much then proceed seamlessly if their skills and expertise is needed to that specific employer, and if employer is going to be willing to obviously sponsor them. So this visa can be used as a jump start for any other visas. In comparison, subclass 462 have wider list of countries, 29 countries on the list. And then for some countries like China, India, Vietnam, there is a ballot system. So pretty much as similar to expression of interest system for $25 per application. You will have to make sure that you register, and then pretty much the selection starts within that pool of candidates randomly. And if your application is selected, you will be invited to apply for a visa. So we usually have 3 rounds of those selections. First one was in August. It's already been and gone. And the registration for that round was at the end of June. So selection was happening on the second day of July. And if you can see, it's already been, all the places been taken. So we have 3 rounds a year. So one has already been and gone, as I said. You'll have option to have a look what's going to be the next round. And if you would like to register, you have to register and then see if your application will be selected. So for this type of visa, it's not only the country and age matters. So again, we're talking about between 18 to 30 inclusive at the time of application. Also, there is a requirement for specific level of education per country of passport. So it's not only country of passport and your age and let's get the party started. So we need to make sure that age, passport country is on the list, and then as per your passport country, you have relevant qualification. So only in this case, you will be able to satisfy the criteria for 462 visa. And 11 countries from that list of 29 will require a letter from the government to support the application. So that's a bit more scrutinized process. However, the same story, once this visa is granted, the visa holder will have 12 months to enter Australia, and 12 months of stay will be starting on the day then the applicant will enter Australia. So it's important to plan ahead. What are you going to be doing? Because 12 months will be finishing very quickly. You'll be surprised. And then this visa will have an opportunity to be extended for the second and third working holiday visas if the applicant satisfy the criteria of specific work. For the second working holiday visa, it is 88 days. For the third working holiday visa, it's going to be 179 days. So it's usually 6 months and 3 months, respectively. In terms of what sort of work it can be, so approved industries will be tourism and hospitality in northern or remote and very remote Australia. So there is a specific postcodes where you have to search that work. Plant and animation, cultivation in regional Australia. Again, regional Australia is identified as per postcodes of specific region. Fishing and pearling in regional Australia. Tree farming and felling in regional Australia. Mining in regional Australia. Construction in regional Australia. Bushfire recovery work in declared bushfire affected areas, recovery work in flood, cyclone, or other severe weather affected areas, critical COVID work, obviously, when it was happening. So if you are aiming to extend your visa, you will have to consider not only coming to Australia as such on that visa, because if you remember, it's called working holiday visa. But if your goal will be to stay here, obviously, later on, then you will have to plan ahead. What are you going to be doing with your work as such in terms of satisfying the criteria? Then you will have to consider your background. Because again, if you already have an established background, you are professional, then it's worth having a conversation. Okay, here is my background. What sort of work I need to satisfy the criteria to be to have an extension on working holiday visa, if obviously you still satisfy the age criteria as well. So age and work experience will matter. And then whether I can use my Remainer on a working holiday visa to search the work that will be related to my specific background, and then will help me to achieve, for example, sponsorship through employer-sponsored visa. So these sort of questions I would encourage people to ask themselves, or through any public available domains, or through migration agent, of course. So in terms of work must be paid in accordance with relevant Australian legislation or award. It depends where are you going. UK working holiday holders are exempt, and Ireland passport, UK passport and North Ireland passport, and working holiday holders are exempt from specific work. So they can go on for up to 3 years without satisfying the criteria of specified work. And then, as I said, we have an approved industry, approved postcode. So it's a lot of information you can find on government websites in regards to conditions, how to plan ahead and find that specific work. It's all available on Department of Home Affairs website. And the work is usually including weekends and any rest days, paid rest days, sick days or holidays, if you're obviously continuously working, say, as a full-time or part-time worker. And then if, for example, you satisfy your criteria for second visa and you apply for your second visa while in Australia, so first visa is already gone and you're now on a bridging visa waiting for the next working holiday visa to be granted, you can use a period on the bridging visa to satisfy the requirement of work towards the next visa. So you can start working in this eligible work already without waiting for second working holiday visa to be granted. So some people may consider staying longer after working holiday visa, and some of them are considering getting visitor visa after working holiday visa to, for example, travel more, do something else more. So our policy on the legislation says that the total period of the person's stay together with working holiday visa and visitor visa must be no more than 12 months. And if it's going to be more than 12 months when you're applying from working holiday visa to visitor visa, you have to make sure that you will have some exceptional circumstances and explain yourself to department, and then it's going to be up to department to decide whether your circumstances will satisfy the grant for visitor visa. So be careful with that. In terms of interesting thing, in terms of working holiday visas, there are caps per country, and I believe it's an interesting statistic. So every country has their own caps, and that's how, if caps are full for the year, that's it. There is no more applications. So Argentina, 3,400. Austria, 500. Brazil, 500. Chile, 3,400. Then China, 5,000, but through the ballot point status, so pretty much through the selection process. Czech Republic, 500. Ecuador, only 100 places. Greece, 500. Hungary, 500. India, 1,000, again through the ballot system. So you can't apply directly. You have to apply for the pool of candidates and then wait to be selected. Indonesia to be 5,000, but with ballot system as well. Israel, 2,500. Luxembourg, 100. Malaysia, 1,100, sorry. Mongolia, only 100. Papua New Guinea, 100. Peru, 1,500. Poland, 1,500. Portugal, 500. San Marino, only 100. Singapore, 2,500. Slovak Republic, 1,000. Slovenia, 200. Spain, 3,400. Switzerland, 200. Thailand, 2,000. Turkey, 100. And it's still open at the moment. And Uruguay, 1,500. In Vietnam, 1,500 through ballot point system. So as you can see, that's a variety of different places. And you really need to be on top of what sort of visa. It's either 417 or 462. So check your passport first. Check whether you satisfy the age criteria, time of lodgement, and obviously, if it's 462 visa, check whether you satisfy the level of your education as per your country of passport. Then, as I said, it's wise to apply anyway if the applications are open and caps are not yet reached. And then you will be able to wait for processing while planning ahead. What would you do next when you are on working holiday visa? So there are conditions attached on a working holiday visa. So it's 12 months stay, and you can check your visa status and the date when your visa will expire once you cross the border first time. Then it's very good to check this status now, and then obviously put the reminders for yourself that your visa will be expiring on a certain date, and then execute your next plan. So working holiday visa has a limitations for up to 4 months, 17 weeks of studying, formal studying. So it's just a reminder that if you will be planning to change the career or planning to build a career while on working holiday visa, you need to be careful with that condition, because you will not be able to complete formal studies more than 4 months long. And it's not going to be a lot of professions that you can actually get that quickly qualified. Then to apply for the second working holiday, minding the same age criteria, it's 88 days of specified work, unless you are UK or North Ireland passport holders. And if you would like to qualify for number 3 working holiday visa, it has to be 179 days of work, which equivalent around 6 months. So you need to be careful with that if you would like to obviously proceed and qualify for the next working holiday. Then health insurance are highly recommended, unless you have a country that has reciprocal Medicare, because anything that's related to health in Australia will be extremely highly priced. So just be mindful on that. And then you will have to plan ahead. What are you going to be doing while on working holiday visa? So a lot of working holiday visa holders are considering partner visa onshore, which is one of the less strict visa criteria. So all you need to do is just to find a partner and then start living together with one household and pretty much prove to the department that your relationship is genuine. So we already hired partner visa stream prior, and you can attend this visa stream in recorded version on our channel. For example, if that's your case, then it's pretty much easy. You can come in, find a partner, or maybe you already had a partner and then you're coming in to test your relationship. So you can obviously satisfy the criteria to reapply from working holiday into partner visa. At this moment of time, the government is discussing the options to stop partners from coming and applying from onshore. So that's in discussion. We don't know when that's going to happen and whether all the options for partner visa from onshore will stop, because currently they're considering to stop partners coming on the visitor visa, but maybe the limitation may also hit the working holiday visa. So be mindful on that. Watch the space. If you're coming on working holiday visa, as I said, and you already have your skill set from home, qualification, work experience, I would strongly recommend to understand your pathways. Being a working holiday visa holder, whether and what ANSCA code you will qualify under. And if you would like to obviously continue your career, whether your skill set will fit into any of the programs, skilled visas, employer sponsored visas. And then obviously it's going to be the best scenario if you continue your career and finding the relevant job with sponsorship in Australia. So that's going to be the quickest way to get to temporary visa and then following by permanent visa. If you're coming in to completely change the career and you're young, you will potentially be able to get to second and third working holidays. Then the options may be to consider occupations under ANSCA code group 2 and 3, but if you don't have relevant qualification, you will have to have at least 3 years of work experience. So it can be 3 years from overseas and sometime here. If you're only going to be considering these occupations from ANSCA group 2 and 3, you may not have enough time to get to full 3 years while being on a working holiday visa, because you'll have to get this job to satisfy the extension. However, you may consider still establishing yourself as a professional through work experience, and then possibly considering even training visa for 07. Currently we have high risk of refusal, but this visa were created for the professionals who have at least 1 year of work experience, and obviously the occupation was on the list. Then to get this visa, to have more years of work experience, and then eventually to qualify for 482 and 186 permanent residency. So in this case, you can build this chain knowing that your occupation is on all the lists. Alternatively, if you would like to go quicker or you may not be able to qualify for second or third visa, you may consider occupations from the ANSCA group 4, where in the variety of occupations, you will have to have at least 1 year of work experience to qualify. And those occupations will likely be on the DAMA employer-sponsored visa. So it's not as simple any employer in any location can sponsor those occupations. So it's usually remote and regional locations where DAMA agreement exists. Again, we had the stream already dedicated for employer-sponsored visa, so you can rewatch it if you wish so, in order to double check whether you would like to consider the idea of going remote and regional, and whether it's something you will think of when you're going to be in Australia. So because remote and regional DAMA agreements has a concession for more occupations on the list, which is beneficial. And then a lot of occupations may be level 4 and even lower level, to pretty much allow applicants to have less work experience, less English, but then to qualify for 482 visa and then proceed for 482 temporary visa and then 186 employed sponsored visa. So that strategy can be used to pretty much come in, but you need to understand where are you going, what DAMA regional you're going to be targeting, what occupation you would like to pretty much be skilled at. So all these considerations better be made before you come into Australia in order for you to have a solid plan. A variety of occupations now are wildly used in aged care facilities, in aged care agreements. So for those occupations, there are 3 occupations available under aged care agreement. There you will be able to get your Australian qualification, should be able to get your Australian qualification for under 4 months, and then you will be able to qualify for 482 visa, and again then you will have an option to get 186. So that strategy can be used. Otherwise, if you are in trades and construction, it's another area pretty much where you can start working without qualification and build your case based on purely work experience. So it's a variety of trades occupations such as welders, carpenters, painters, floor finishers. So all of them are usually requires up to three years of work experience. Again, it can be from overseas and from Australia combined, and then it will open the doors for you to get 482 visa eventually and then proceed to permanent residency. So as I said, there are a variety of options with working holiday visa. What we noticing that's a lot of applicants doesn't have a plan at all. And what's happening then, they simply satisfying the criteria with specified work to just keep going on working holiday visa, and then they exhaust all the 3 years, and then in the last 4 months before the visa is about to expire, they're coming on a consultation to know what are the chances, where pretty much all these 3 years been used for totally different work experience, and we cannot match everything together. So that's a miss to see those cases where there was no planning whatsoever, but it could have been planned well to then execute throughout the years, and then do not waste those years. So currently the alternative option from working holiday can be student visa if you do not have a case while you were on working holiday visa, and you don't have a case based on your overseas work experience. So that can be an option. But again, the student visa has to be logical extension of your previous work experience to satisfy genuine student criteria. And then you will have to really think proactively, again, strategically, what sort of qualification should I take in order to achieve reasonable, meaningful outcome out of your study. So not only just getting into study, for example, leadership and management course, which is unlikely bring you any positive results or any results at all after completion of this course, though it's really cheap. And then people again are thinking, okay, I'll get a student visa for now, I'll fix my stay for another 2 years, and then whatever happens. So please don't be that person, because it's painful to watch how then people are approaching us, as I said, with the time wasted, and we were trying to offer some sort of reasonable solution, but then the person has already been in Australia for years without any plan, and that's problematic to offer any viable pathway from there. So let's get into questions in the chat, and then see what's happening there. I'm a qualified baker with over 10 years of genuine experience. Considering current 2026 trends and scrutiny of Australian 482 visa, how strong is my profile? What are the biggest risks? I don't know your profile to have a look what are the biggest risks. We were searching for qualified bakers for our Queensland employer through shorter.au. So we are running the portal shorter.au to allow eligible applicants and sponsors to match. So we still have this position open and available if you would like to apply, because Shorter provides the opportunity for the applicants to be pre-qualified based on their work experience and qualification and age English. And then we have a pool of eligible and ready to sponsor employers who will be willing to consider. So this specific portal, shorter.au, is created to assist both sides, employers and employees, to find each other and match with each other. So you can use that option. In regards to biggest risks, obviously you have to find an employer willing to take you on board for full-time position. What regions are relevant for regional Australia? Adelaide, for example. There is a big list of postcodes. You can jump on the website and there is a specific web page dedicated to working holiday visas. So there are a variety of postcodes, including some locations in South Australia as well, where you need to find employer to be in those postcodes and then to qualify based on employment based off approved industries. So you need to be mindful of everything. So I would like to remind you guys that we have all the other streams that we've already done on our channel available to rewatch in recording. Please feel free to go based on your demand. What would you like to listen? We have a variety of streams in regards to partner visa, parents visa, employed sponsored visa, student visa, and we're going to be running our last stream dedicated to skilled visas next Saturday. So feel free to register via the link in description and then attend the skilled visa stream to understand what are the options are currently available through skilled visas and what will be the trends for 2026, 2027. Thank you very much, everybody who's been on the chat and who came to watch me live. And I wish you all the best for your weekend, wherever you are.